federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To decline this call, hang up. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Edward Brown,
an inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now. If you wish to block it.
Mr. Brown.
Hi.
How you doing,
Sorry
sir?
I'm late. Okay. I think tonight I was a little late helping somebody about their parent with cancer. So I just come in from another place, from recreation. We want to talk about the Rangers tonight.
Oh, sure. That sounds good. Yes.
So, okay, let me give them. I think we should start off with the Rangers, and then we'll go into the other stuff after this. First, I think they need to know who the Rangers are. I'll give a little story on the Rangers, and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was invited to accept a commission into the Rangers in 1999. I didn't even know that they existed by a couple of guys that called me up and were talking to me about them. And I found out that their mission was the same one that was the same mission that the one I had for the Un-American Activities Investigations Commission that I had created in the mid-'90s to investigate criminal element within the government, or the political mafia, as we like to call them. So after a couple of weeks of reviewing their information, I had decided we're doing the same thing. Why not merge the two organizations together? So we did. The UAIC's mission was investigating directly crimes that were being conducted as we were down in Biloxi, Mississippi. We had discovered a C-130 transport aircraft flying in with drugs. One of our agents down there had discovered it, was videotaping it, and kept us posted. That was going on for years. There was an agent down there, ex-FBI agent, that was running that particular operation for some time. The county sheriff's department, Harrison County, was offloading from the C-130 into two Huey helicopters, then into Hills Brothers Coffee Compound, which they put in cans and spread it all over the country. That's that story. So we were doing pretty much the same thing. So I joined the Rangers in 1999, and then they asked me to accept the commission as Commander-in-Chief on 2000. I guess I was overactive. They kind of liked that or something. But they needed leadership at the time. They were a little bit disoriented and didn't have the proper direction. So we started to go with it, and it started to grow. But it grew more quietly than it did publicly. So we're not interested in making a big name for ourselves. If we have one Ranger in a state, we'd be perfectly happy with that. But we had actually hundreds of them prior to my even coming aboard with them. What we call the old school Rangers have been around since at least the 80s. One gentleman, Lawrence Pappy, they called him Robertson, was ex-OSS out of England, and when he was doing at the end of World War II in 1945.
This call is from a federal prison.
He was doing duty in the White House basement, some kind of a security duty. And he was down on a sofa, laying there underneath the library in the wall, saw a book, Footprints of Time, reached for it, and opened it up. He noticed that there was a open space in the pages, so he opened it up, and out dropped a badge. The badge on it said United States Constitution Rangers, Continental Congress 77, the badge that we have today. But that was all silver, which was typical for that era. They would have had that kind of a badge for 1777. From that, he deduced, and he really researched through the archives and libraries in England and over here in the States. And the only thing that we ever found was at the end of, regarding the Rangers, was the two companies of the Constitution Rangers served, two companies out of Pennsylvania under a captain something, I had forgotten his name offhand, in the Civil War. So we knew that they were still around at the Civil War. So now from the Civil War, they kind of like faded away. And then here we go. He discovered the badge in 1945. So what he did do was he reestablished the Rangers with the assistance of Congressman Eldon Rudd out of Arizona. And another congressman, I think, out of New Mexico. And I forgot his name offhand. That's all of record, though. And they got it funny set in the charter, and its mission statement was filed in the Library of Congress with Mr. Congressman Eldon Rudd's assistance under the registration number of TX, capital T, capital X, lowercase u, 42-453. Anybody can look that up for themselves and find it. We have copies of it anyway. All information with the Rangers is free, available. We don't charge for anything. That's not what we do. And we also we are not funded by any government or non-government agency. We have the privilege of serving our country this way as officers of honor out of our own pockets. But this way we can't be compromised, and we have a 240-year history of never being compromised by anybody outside. And our total function is for the preservation of the Constitution, common law, republic of 1791, 1787 to 1791, when the Bill of Rights was attached to it. And that's what's been going on to this day. So the Rangers, like you read, when I took over back in 2000 as Commander-in-Chief, I did a little mission statement as the commander's address for the Rangers, and it goes like this. For any new ones coming in, or this was also part of a public release information package that we gave to all police departments and news media, or whatever the case may be. It's Commander's Address, Ranger, with the best intentions of heart, mind, spirit, and honor. We present to you the United States Constitution Rangers. The United States Constitution Rangers is a chartered organization of peace officers defending the Constitution and the people of the United States Republic, plural, with a history back to the country's formation. A new charter was accepted by Congress in 1980. We established in the USC Rangers Charter Registration TXU 42-453 with Charter Number 37817. Growing numbers of Americans having lost their confidence and faith in the administration within our government have decided to prepare to protect the United States of America from any conflict against any and all enemies, both foreign and domestic. This organization, therefore, among other efforts, shall investigate. I have citizens here, but we've got to change that. But investigate citizens' complaints regarding constitutional violations by public officials and administrative agencies, and make recommendations and reports to Congress, district attorneys, which I don't think anymore, because they have turned out to be on the other side, and other interested parties, along with the taking any and all lawful actions available to it. The USC Rangers, as should all good Americans and God-loving people everywhere, stand on center of all things and keep a check and balance on the extremes. We have no known enemies and will take no sides, save one exception. We will protect and defend the Constitution and republics for, I repeat, for the United States, not of. Constitution republics for the United States of America against all her enemies and the people thereof, under God. We will abide by the original organic Constitution and Bill of Rights contracts of the several states and of the United States of America, all republics under one God. We will ignore, as law dictates, any laws or orders that violate these constitutions and their corresponding Bill of Rights, including any revised laws, statutes, treaties, regulations, etc., that violates these supreme laws of the land. We will, in good faith and brotherly love, notify anyone that violates the lawful supreme laws of the states and the nation and give them the opportunity to correct the errors in a timely manner. If they do not, they will be charged accordingly at law and under the lawful law of the land. All rangers are living souls and should learn and understand the differences between themselves and others designated as persons. Big difference, and everybody needs to know this. You are the creator of the one God, creator of all, not the creatures of the state or of statute. All United States Constitution Rangers will endeavor to be proficient in their understanding of the constitutions of the United States of America, its Bill of Rights, along with the constitutions for the state of which one inhabits. Rangers will educate others whenever possible to the best of their ability. All United States Constitution Rangers will always appear in public in a clean, neat, and appropriate manner. Rangers will be polite and respectful to all parties in every situation. Rangers shall keep the peace and aid and work with any lawful law enforcement officers, county sheriffs, police, or peace officers whenever possible or needing assistance. Thank you and welcome aboard. Edward Lewis Brown, Commander, United States Constitution Rangers. That's basically what the mission is of the Rangers, and that's where we stand. Our authorization and jurisdiction is all 50 states plus Washington, D.C. under the Republic only. If any state or the Washington, D.C. is operating under a democracy or any other form of oligarchy or military law, they're out of our jurisdiction. They have declared themselves, if they are doing that, the enemy of the United States Constitution, common law republics. And they are subject for charges. Now, that's what's happened. That's where the country stands right now. I'm here to tell you, as still the commander, lifelong commander for the United States Constitution Rangers, there is no, I repeat, there is no lawful standing government in Washington, D.C. at this time. There is an administrative form of law operating under the guidance of the Crown Templar organization out of England and the Vatican. That's a fact of record. So anyone wishes to discuss this publicly and openly in a court of law, I would be glad to be there. Or in front of Congress, I would be glad to be there. Now, a lot of people in the past have tried to bring this forward. McFadden did back in his day in '33. A couple of others more recently. And they've all of them have been condemned one way or the other. The Rangers are a Boy Scout organization. Are we armed? Are we military? Yes, we are paralegal. Paramilitary. We're not paralegal at all. We're lawful. We're not interested in the legalities of stuff, only the lawfulness of stuff. The law for us is clear. To the Bill of Rights, we're only interested in Amendments 1 through 10. All of the articles, but the amendments 1 through 10. Any amendment after that, as long as it doesn't violate Articles 1 through 10, we accept them. If they violate Articles 1 through 10, we do not accept them. We do not accept any law, rule, or statutes, or whatever that was passed on the Second Amendment. None. It says clearly, the laws shall not be infringed. Come on. So anyway, if anyone has a problem, they call the Rangers up. If it's got to do with the Constitution or the rights are being violated, the rights of God are being violated under the Constitution. We don't care about the civil rights. That's none of our business. Again, ours is 1 through 10, Amendments 1 through 10. So we're only interested in serving the people of the Republic. We have no business or authority to...
This call is from a federal prison.
We have no business or authority representing a citizen of the United States, because that is lowercase c citizen. Look in your Constitution, you will see it crystal clear. After the Civil War, citizen turned from uppercase to lowercase. That means the 14th Amendment did not free the blacks, it enslaved the whites. Under martial law from 1861, and the law was called the Lieber Code under Mr. Lincoln. 1871, the Rangers noticed and watched as they enacted the Act of 1871, turning Washington, D.C. into a democracy, which is exactly what our forefathers did not want to have happen. And they continued in the same venue since 1871, through banking, and now we have what we have today. That's why my wife and I are in prison, because we started to go against the Internal Revenue Service, because the Internal Revenue Service and the IRS tax is only for citizens of the United States, which most of you Republic people in the States are not citizens of the United States. They are American nationals of the country of Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, California, or whatever, but they don't understand this yet. They will. Anyway, we have this. What else is going on?
I find it fascinating, Mr. Brown. The censorship and gun control seems to be the big issues of the day out here. I think they're making a move to take our guns, and anytime we talk about anything they do not like, they censor us. But
Yep. If they do that, that is an act of war against the people of the United States of America, of the Constitution, common law republic. They don't care about the citizens, their own citizen slaves.
All right, he has very limited time, and it cut him off in mid-sentence. Had we had a chance for questions, and we'll see if this comes up in the future, I want to give him as much time as possible to finish his thoughts. But I was going to ask if the membership of the Constitution Rangers is publicly available, where we can, go look at that membership, or if, if it's listed anywhere publicly. But that's Ed Brown, spent 10 years in prison. Has decades to go because he did what was right and stood up against a monster called the IRS. I pray you take the time to look up his address on Year of Jubilee with only one E, find his prison mailing address, and write him a letter. Thank you very much.